Hi everyone, Bobby here. I'm just going to do a quick video, so my face isn't going to be in it. I'm going to do a proper video on this just to walk you through it in greater detail. But the 2G DSM short shifter kits. This is just a quick assembly just to show you how they go together, and then I'll do a bigger video which walks through it all in greater detail. So first off, we get the oil light bushings, because now they're double bushings instead of the single type. So these are just pressed in bit, and then what we do is we'll add a little bit of blue Loctite just on the main shaft, and this is more because over the years many companies have had these type of shafts come loose. Some will weld, if they've got the B&Ms, they'll weld those up to stop them from coming loose. So a little bit of blue Loctite will be fine on that one, and then that will be all good. The bottom doesn't get any Loctite, it just goes straight in. Now when they all turn up, they'll all come to the lowest position. Now it depends how quick of a shift you want, so you can easily adjust that just using the 8mm end on that. When that's done, we'll stick the end in here, which is for your shifter. So either you'll use your shifter knob that you bought, or you use your stock shifter. The stock shifter, there will be an extension that you'll want to buy, because this is now a rectangle / square type, so the stock one won't go directly over this. So a little extension would allow it to go back and sit almost as it would be. So I'll post that detail up. With the system I designed, there will be no need to use the factory spring washer or nut, and especially on the main shaft, which goes from the factory bracket, they will now come with a larger washer and a nylock. And the reason why is because we never want these to come apart. They are much stronger and safer this way. It's been known that they come apart other versions, and we don't want that on our version. So we designed it to have a nylock, which is much stronger, much more reliable. Now this system for us makes your shifting experience different than anyone else's, because this isn't exactly preset for one and for all. Because it's nylock, you can either have it really stiff, which is like now, and then it won't move anywhere, and then you can just tweak it a little bit more, and you can get slight movement, so you can actually increase the stiffness. So if you want a slightly stiffer feel, the only issue is the stiffer you do it, the less recentering is going to happen. So we always send them out where they've got just a little bit of looseness, where they self-center just perfectly. So it depends on your springs as well. You may need to nip them up, and you may need to loosen them, but we'll send them out where they've got a nice bit of movement and self-centering, and then that's it. So that's it for the main shifter. And then towards the end, we'll add, didn't have this out, we'll add our spring washer to our bolt and our washer, and then that goes in the bottom for your shifting cable, just like that. And then as you get that done up, it will all nip up nicely. So with that, that's the general basics. Now I'll go more into detail on this one later on. So in the design that we did, we always knew that this section here between the factory plate and this slot here, most of them either over the top and you have to file this, or the B&Ms were slightly under. So what it meant was this plate, this mounting bracket, could actually rock forward and backwards. Now what that does is it allows this bolt to eventually loosen up because it's a movement pivot, and when you get rid of that by the nylock, you're not going to have the issue anyway. But our design was slightly different. We made it a slight interference fit, and what that means is as you get up to the edge of this, you're going to end up just stopping short of about a couple of millimeters. But don't worry, you don't need to sand anything. The idea and the design was you put the nut and the washer on, you do the nut and the washer up, and it draws it in to the plate, so it gives it a nice secure interference fit, and that is exactly how it has to be done. These may vary, but I highly doubt it. If you've modified yours, then you're going to have a different situation. Maybe you've got a Megan, maybe you've got another brand, an eBay brand or something, and instead of modifying these, you modified that. Obviously, if you've done modifications on this, I can't help you on that one because I've designed it to an unmodified bracket, which is to original specs. So you're just going to have to pack this out or do a couple of blobs of weld on there and then flush that off just to make sure it's got no rocking in it. So with that, that is your end finished result on what it will look like. Now, there are known issues where this actual weld will crack and it will allow this main center pin to come off. It's not unheard of. It is not super common, but it is a known fact. What we would suggest is, I can't take this off right now because of the fit, but on here you've got a shaft that goes all the way around on the receiving side, almost like where they've pressed it on and it butts up against it, and then they just weld it on this side so it can stop falling back out. What we would suggest, and as your peace of mind, is on the other side, so this back side right underneath here, let me grab a trusty tool I can poke into it. So this back side underneath the block, you've got a top hat, which is the steel factory metal shaft. TIG or MIG, as long as you don't go over the top of the top hat surface, you've got to keep it under the surface, otherwise you'll foul the mounting surface. You will want to TIG or MIG just a fraction around there, either 2, 3 or 4 times, just to allow it some extra strength. Doing this means that your outside welds will never fracture and then never try and pull forward. Or worst case, that's what happens, is it actually, because it's welded this side and the stub's this side, it pulls outwards, so your shifter will move away from the actual bracket. That is the best thing I can suggest to you. If you don't do that, that's fine, but just make sure that none of this is fractured, otherwise you'll want to look at that sooner than later. That's everything for now on this. I will do a more detailed, in-depth, better lighting video. I just wanted to run through the initial build and put together for you. So hope you liked it, and welcome to the future of 2G DSMs of the new short shifter, FIBA Motorsport edition. Hope you enjoy. Thank you very much.